OddGamer, Fairly OddGamer. It goes around when you run out of time. Not the Fairly OddGamer.
Thank you. Hello, internet viewers. I'm the Fairly OddGamer. It's almost Christmas, and I figured that the best way to celebrate is to get a little festive. I wish I could be more like Christmas. Ah, much better. Now, just a moment. Ah, much better. Now, where was I? Oh yeah, Christmas is coming, so maybe I thought I'd do something special for today. Perhaps maybe a Christmas-related game. But not just any Christmas game. How about a game based on a well-known Christmas classic? How about The Grinch? Based on the Dr. Seuss book, How the Grinch Stole Christmas in 1957, the Grinch wants to put an end to Christmas by stealing it from these wonderful little creatures called Whos, who live in a town called Whoville. Since then, it's been adapted to an animated TV cartoon with Boris Karloff, a live-action movie with Jim Carrey, a Dr. Seuss video classic with narration by Walter Matthau, and a CG animated movie made not too long ago by the same people who made these annoying nuances. In comparison, I love the original cartoon, and who doesn't? It's one of the most memorable Christmas specials to ever air on TV with Karloff's narration and voice work. Even the song You're a Mean One Mr. Grinch became well known and still is today. The live action movie was pretty good, even though there were some moments that felt more adults to me. And the new anime movie was not bad, but it's still better than the live action movie by a long shot. But did you know that the Grinch had a video game of his own? That's right, the Grinch got his own video game in 2000 on the original PlayStation as well as the Dreamcast. At first you'd think this game is based on the original book, but that is until you read the back of the box and it says, this year-round adventure premieres with Universal Studios' blockbuster movie, Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. So it looks like I have to review a Grinch game based on the live-action movie. But is this game as good as the movie itself? Let's not waste any more time and get this game started. So as soon as the PS1 logo boots up, we see that the game was made by Konami, the same company that made the Metal Gear Solid games, and was also developed by A2M, known for its multiple license-based games. Well, seeing that I don't know any Spanish or French, I'll just pick English. So after Green Snot drools down, we then see the opening title screen.
Hi, doggy.
After starting a new game, we see the Grinch plotting on what to do with those despicable Whos. But how will he do it?
The Grinch copter? With this, I can fly over the despicable Whos. Maybe the octopus climbing device to scale the walls? No. The rocket spring to perform magnificent jumps. Or better yet, one of my most treasured weapons, the rotten egg launcher to stink out my enemies, or the slime gun to just stick it to them.
Good thinking there, Grinch. Let's do it. So the Grinch gets an idea.
An awful idea.
As he climbs up a pile of boxes, only to see his blueprints fly away.
No! My plans! My precious plans!
Why didn't I make more copies? After this entertaining intro, we get a tutorial segment, which is really helpful for new players. So the Grinch's moveset includes a ground pound similar to what Mario has, latching onto an object and moving it around with his own strength, and letting out his bad breath as seen in the movie when the Grinch knocked out the Who that takes the tolls. We then see the Grinch's lair, and already looks better than the lair from the movie. He has a giant master computer, for what you may ask?
After I collect the plans that have blown away, I'll feed them to my processor, and there they'll stay.
You know, I'm glad that the Grinch is ahead of its time because he might end up using those gadgets 18 years later. So on to the first level, downtown Whoville, and immediately I'm blown away. Whoville looks absolutely stunning, and for a PS1 game, that's saying a lot. The citizens, on the other hand, despise the Grinch. They even give him hugs in the same way as a costume character in Disney World. And before I forget, this game does have a narrator that speaks entirely in rhyme. I love that idea because, after all, it is a Dr. Seuss game.
One important task is breaking holiday gifts. Just thinking of this deed, the Grinch spirit lifts.
You know, I just realized something. It turns out that every single version of the Grinch, including the game, has a narrator that speaks in rhyme. Besides that. And because the Grinch has to smash gifts with his butt, as well as causing havoc to the innocent people of Whoville, it feels like I'm playing the anti-version of Super Mario 64. And just like Super Mario 64, it's an action-based platform game with the addition of completing a few missions here and there. Some of which include getting certain items like the paintbrush for painting the mayor's face, and some basic missions like smashing snowmen in the same way as smashing gifts with, you guessed it, your butt. There's even one mission that replicates the movie pretty well, but before doing that, you have to get the cloak, run to a nearby phone booth, and change into your cloak. Once that's done, you run by the post office as the Grinch reenacts the mail fraud scene, or as the Grinch yells out, "Jury duty, jury duty." Yeah, that, while trying to avoid detection. And since it's made by Konami, I guess I'll call this level Metal Gear Grinch. So a young girl who I assume is Cindy Lou Who spots the Grinch as they reenact their first encounter from the movie.
You're the
Grinch! Okay, that audio is from the movie, but the game version replicates this scene very well, even with the different voice acting.
Well, you're
The Grinch! It's actually entertaining the more I think about it. And remember the blueprints I mentioned earlier? They've been scattered across Wholand, and the Grinch has to find them all. Once you find all the blueprints for a gadget, you have to return to Mount Crumpet, turn on the computer, and place each piece in the correct location. So if you're a good puzzle solver who likes to be a jerk to everyone around you, then this is the game for you. I love using the gadgets in this game because it makes the gameplay much easier for you, as well as completing more missions. And see the plant that has a green egg but no ham? Well, it turns out that these rotten eggs are used as fuel for your gadgets, and you need as many eggs as possible because the more you use your gadgets, the more eggs you consume. And of course, completing enough missions lets you unlock more levels. Which, by the way, are not in the movie. But let's see how it holds up. Visually, the levels look incredible for PS1 standards, and they each stand out in different ways. But I'm curious to know why the dump looks similar to the industrial park that SpongeBob and Sandy were pedaling towards during pre-hibernation week. Yeehaw! Oh, and every time you beat a mission, this happens.
Yeah, Grinch!
And thankfully, he has different ways to punk the Who's.
Bellissimo! I say, you're Grinched. Yeah, Grinched!
I mean, could you imagine if the Grinch did the same thing to me? I feel the same way as the... Just a moment. Who is it?
It's Hux, your loyal companion.
Hux? You don't sound like yourself. Is something wrong?
No, but I think you might be surprised.
Now do as I say and please open the door.
Alright. Oh!
What? I said you'd be surprised.
Wait a minute. Aren't you the Grinch that tried to leak Smash Brothers but ended up failing miserably?
Like the videos on your channel? Of course.
Wait, what?
But my video, How the Grinch Leaked Smash Brothers, is already a success. In fact, the amount of likes on my video are about the same as your dislikes as your Finding Nemo review.
Okay.
And seeing that you're playing a game starring me, it wouldn't make much sense to not have me in your review.
Well, I can see that. What exactly do you have in mind?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe entertain your viewers for a while?
Alright, I'll think of something.
Perfect! Oh, Max! Max!
Dude, how many times do I have to tell you? It's Hux, not Max.
Doesn't matter. I know exactly what to do with the gamer.
And what exactly are you going to do?
Oh, you'll find out.
What just happened? Anyway, one of my favorite Grinch moments in the game comes from this mission from Who Forest. More accurately in the White Mountain Civic Center. And what is this mission, you may ask? Well, let me put it this way. The citizens of Whoville are celebrating Mayor Mayhew being mayor of Whoville for 25 years. And since the Grinch already holds a grudge against the mayor, the Grinch replaces all the candles on the cake with fireworks.
What an explosive party we'll have tonight.
Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday to you. Ha ha hoo. And by the way, you're Grinched!
Now, for those who don't know, what the Grinch just sung was a snippet of Marilyn Monroe's hit song, Happy Birthday, Mr. President, in celebration of John F. Kennedy's 45th birthday. Now, imagine if this game were to be remade, and this mission were to be completed. Instead of Mr. President, I think the Grinch would probably do this.
Now watch me whip, whip, watch me nay, 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 watch me whip, whip, watch me nay, 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 ha 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 ha. Oh, and by the way, you just got Grinched!
But there is one gadget in this game that I personally cannot stand for the life of me, and it's only used for this one level in Who Lake. It's the marine mobile that lets you explore the underwater world. While the underwater world looks nice in regards to level design, it's the marine mobile that makes me rage with anger. And why is that? Because it has inverse tank controls. I'm not a big fan of tank controls to begin with, but having them inverted makes it somewhat unplayable. Let me put it this way. Imagine if you're playing Bubsy 3D and there'd be a level where Bubsy had to fly the rocket all the way back home. That wouldn't even come close to controlling the marine mobile. It is that bad. So get this. After completing multiple missions and having the Grinch say,
Yeah, Grinch!
every time, we finally get to the plot of the story that we've all been waiting on.
The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea.
The Grinch wants to stop Christmas by, of course, stealing it.
You like that, fat dog?
Gamer, what's the problem? I'm trying to forget a certain image that just popped in my head.
What image?
Max being thrown in the snow by the Grinch, and therefore seeing snow stuck on Max's mouth.
Whoa, that's pretty harsh. You wouldn't do that to me, would you?
Oh, of course not. I wouldn't dare.
Oh, good. Anyway, catch you later, dude.
Later, Hux. Anyway, while the Grinch is working on his sleigh, it turns out that he's still missing a few parts.
Only when I have all the parts can I come back here and complete the work.
In order to find the missing sleigh parts, you have to shoot a snow truck with rotten eggs, beat a certain Who as Max the dog, moving chess pieces in a certain order, shooting crows under a time limit, and finding pearls under a time limit. Once that's done, you can then ride the sleigh for the game's final mission. While the sleigh's controls are inverted, they're not as bad as the marine mobile. So on your sleigh ride, you have to chase Santa while stealing presents left behind. However, if you miss even one present, it's back to the beginning of the stage with you. Now prepare yourself. After collecting the gifts, you then shoot unlimited rotten eggs at Santa, therefore knocking him off his own sleigh. Though it never happens in the book or the movie, it's still an epic boss battle. After Santa gets knocked off, abandoning him in the snow, the Grinch returns home with the gifts as we get the ending that I'm pretty sure everyone knows. The Who's happily sing, the Grinch's heart grows 3 sizes, and the Grinch returns the gifts to everyone at Whoville. Well, look at that. I just got Grinch at the very end of the game.
And that was my plan the whole time.
Grinch? What are you doing back?
What do you mean I'm doing back? You just beat my game. So I just came to congratulate you by giving you the Grinch honor.
The Grinch honor?
Exactly. You just got Grinched!
Thanks, I guess.
Also, I noticed that you left out a couple of things on your review.
Okay. And what exactly did I miss, oh good Grinch?
Mainly the music and Max's gameplay.
Alright. I'll talk about them briefly. I love the game's music, especially the dump level. It has some machine sounds that makes it feel like an industrial factory, which I already mentioned before. And Max's gameplay is pretty basic. Pressing select lets you control Max. He's able to fit through small holes in order to get you extra goodies as well as a few items. He's also an animal lover because rats and a skunk follow Max wherever he goes. Unfortunately, he can't jump, which can make the race against the Who somewhat difficult.
There. Happy now? Very much. Continue.
Anyway, even though the game received mixed reviews, I honestly think The Grinch is an okay game. It's a standard action platformer based on the movie based on the book. I love the moments that were used in the movie, as well as the additional moments that make it stand out. The game may not have aged well, but it's still fun to play for laughs. Now, before I go, I have a little announcement for you guys. In celebration of Kingdom Hearts 3 being released next month, I'm going to talk about one of the Pixar worlds that are featured in the game. Which one, you may ask? You just have to find out for yourself. I'm the Fairly OddGamer, and I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to every single one of you. Happy holidays, everyone!
You just got Grinch!